Hi, and you're now with the Forerunner Chronicles. All right, everybody, so I thought in this time of crisis in which the world has been whipped up into a pandemonium over this pandemic, this coronavirus contagion, that it'd be interesting to sit down with the man that was responsible for founding the Trends Research Institute. He's the publisher of the Trends Journal, a weekly publication. This is the man that went on record actually forecasting 2 recessions here in the United States of America, the meltdown of the dot-com boom. He even forecasted the overthrow of the Soviet Union. And this gentleman has been featured on several major media outlets like Fox News, to name one of them. I'm talking about none other than Mr. Gerald Celente. Thanks for being with us here, Gerald Celente. Glad to have you.
Thanks for having me. Actually, I'm very sad.
Okay.
To be quite honest with you. Yeah, what's going on in the world and all the people that are suffering. And I'm not talking about the people that are suffering from dying from coronavirus. 9,000 have died out of a population of 7.7 billion people, which adds up to basically nothing. I'm very sad about all the people that have lost their jobs and have no income coming in, deep in debt, can't pay bills, and because governments have decided to close down entire nations. So that's what I feel bad about, all the people that are suffering during these times because of actions taken by the governments.
Yeah, and this virus is really presenting itself as a dramatic shift of everything that we've ever known. And it seems to be unwarranted because, like you just stated, the death toll associated with coronavirus pales in comparison to the death toll of our average yearly influenza virus. What do you say about that?
18,000 people have already died in America from the flu. How many people died in America so far of the coronavirus? 105. Where did most of them die? In Washington State. Where did they die? Chronically ill people in nursing homes. And look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. They're elderly people that are chronically ill. Hey, how about Italy? How about Italy? Oh, Italy has the oldest population. About 25% of the people are over 65.
Correct.
And the people that are dying are in their late 70s, 80s, and 90s that are chronically ill. But let's close down the whole place. They have the police on the streets. You can't go out. So it went from Mussolini to Conte. And take out that O and put in a U. And the people are following. Germany closed down the entire place. How many people live there? I think it's about 80 million. How many died? 24. Heil Hitler, we will follow you. You tell us what to do. You tell us what to do. And everybody's following the orders. I got this little boy over here in New York. Andrew Cuomo. I almost said Mario because that was his daddy. Mario Cuomo was the governor of New York. Now we got the privileged prince over here, a little boy born on third base and thought he hit a home run. Closing down the entire... Only 25 people can get together to work. Hey, who made this number up? Stand 6 feet away from me. Hey, everybody watching? Oh, you're going to get that. I coughed into the phone. I coughed into it. You're going to get it. You got little low-life boys and girls, from presidents, prime ministers, chancellors, to mayors, to governors, all around the board. I'll tell you what to do. Don't you know who I am? And everybody's marching.
Gerald, why are they making such a big deal out of this then? If the coronavirus is, statistically speaking, much more mundane than, our yearly influenza virus, then why are the powers that be actually inflating it into something that, according to what you're saying right now, it should not be? What is your take on that?
First, it started with the prostitutes, the media whores. I mentioned, what's his name, Cuomo, his little brother there, Chrissy, on the Cartoon News Network, CNN. Yeah. all the prostitutes they get paid to put out by their corporate pimps and government whoremasters. There's a hurricane coming, and they're all dressed up in that hurricane drag with the water blowing over the boardwalk and the trees bending over and selling fear and hysteria. They did the same thing with this. Listen to the language. You got that little Cazzone over there in France, Macron. The guy with a popularity rating of nothing.
Right.
People can't stand him. Right? We're at war. They're all using the word war. Biden, war.
Right. Against an invisible enemy.
War. The invisible enemy.
Right.
The people are being led by their dictators. And they don't have the courage to look at the facts. Look at the facts. I don't want anybody telling me what it's going to be. I'm saying it's been going on now for 2 months, and numbers add up to nothing. Okay,
Gerald, you're a guy, you're never short of entertaining, but there's always a lot of truth in everything that you're saying. There's a lot of truth encrouched within your sarcasm. And I want to touch on something. So, okay, let's say the media, all right? The media is pushing the message of fear because of their own purpose. But why is the government, why are the governments of the world actually pushing this message? Would you say that, are we missing something here? Is there something that we really need to be concerned about in relationship to the imminent danger that coronavirus poses to us? Or is there some other agenda associated with, instilling fear within the hearts of the global populace, and coronavirus actually being the perfect vehicle to instill that fear within the hearts of the people, thereby utilizing it as a means of change, of bringing about some type of transformation to civilization or society as we presently know it?
I just mentioned to you about George Bush. Look at the Afghan war, the longest war in American history.
Right.
What has it accomplished?
You tell me.
No, I'm asking you. You ask me questions, I'm asking you. What has it accomplished?
Well, we made a lot of money off of it.
What has that accomplished in terms of war?
Well, war always makes money.
All right, make money. How many people did it kill? How many lives have been ruined in soldiers that sent it?
Multitudes. I don't have the specific numbers.
We're looking at about 22 people, previous veterans, that are committing suicide each day.
Right. It's a tragedy.
A tragedy. The Iraq War.
Right.
Killed over 1 million Iraqis, destroyed the government, destroyed the country. What did it accomplish? Nothing.
You made a lot
other
of
than
money.
Murder, death. So when you're talking about this and why are they doing it, you have sick people running the show. These are psychopaths, sociopaths, pathological liars, freaks, and fools. No, if you believe in your leader, follow your leader. Follow your leader. I was in Berlin in 2012. I'd never been there before. I was looking to leave the country in 2010. And I've been traveling around the world, and there's nowhere I wanted to go. We were opening up the Trends Journal, our magazine in Germany. And they showed me around. Here's East Germany, blah, blah, blah. And everywhere they're driving me, parks everywhere. No building, maybe over 16 stories tall, light shining in everywhere. And about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I landed at 8:30 in the morning. We're sitting at a restaurant, sitting outside, but now the restaurants are closed. You're not allowed to go out. Cafe tables, 3, 4, 5 deep. Place to walk and a place to bicycle. Looking across the street, beautiful median. And I'm looking at a German building across the street from me. 1880. beautiful. At the same height, all new construction.
Mm.
And I'm realizing everywhere they drove me, whether it was suburbs, everywhere, I saw the same thing. Beautiful old buildings and all new construction.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, in the 1930s, the Germans were at the height of Western civilization. Culturally, scientifically, philosophically. And I'm thinking of all the great German names, Bach, Beethoven, Wagner. I spent a lot of time in Paris. I dated a wonderful woman, Marie-Pierre. We're still great friends. My brother Francois was left shoulder of Jacques Chirac and Mitterrand. And my close combat teachers used to go over there and work out with the guys at Palais Élysée. So I know Paris a little bit. Berlin was grander than Paris before it got bombed out. And I'm saying to myself, why didn't they stop it before it was totally destroyed? How did they let a little freak like Hitler, that Charlie Chaplin played better than him, destroyed what took 1,000 years to build? Why didn't the people fight back? The war was going to end. Did you have to destroy everything before it ended? Where were the people? Heil Hitler! Heil Cuomo! Heil Macron! Heil Merkel! I will follow your orders! That's what's going on right now. And the people don't have the courage to think for themselves or fight for themselves. And where we're going now is in the greatest depression. When people lose everything and have nothing left to lose, they lose it. My family, I can't feed them. I can't pay my rent. They closed all the restaurants. Yeah, I know I don't work in a restaurant, but I used to deliver food there. I'm the guy that used to grow the food. I can't sell it to anyone. They're not buying it anymore. One person after another losing their livelihoods. The tourists, the airlines, you name the industry, car deal. Car production has stopped in Germany. They're not making anything. When people lose everything and have nothing left to lose, they lose it. You're going to see crime rise at levels we've never seen before. Hopeless everywhere. The governments of the world are responsible and will be responsible for killing millions, tens of millions of people more than the virus will kill. Suicides, crime. The virus is killing 9,000 people as we speak in a global population of 7.7 billion people. I got this little boy, governor. They just announced you can't have more than 25 people working on location. I just decided. Who are you to decide this? Hey, I'm the governor. I'll tell you what to do.
Gerald, let's shift this a little bit, all right? Because, what I'm hearing you say, I agree with it. And I kind of summarize it by saying fear is one of the most potent motivators. And it's like a discussion I was having with an individual the other day. We were talking about 9/11. And when 9/11 transpired and the attack took place on the Twin Towers, the U.S. military came in to Midtown Manhattan. And still, here in the year 2020, if you visit Midtown Manhattan, you'll still see the presence of U.S. military. You find them in Penn Station, you find them scattered about. And what I'm trying to allude to is the fact that I'm looking at this current situation as a biological 9/11, that they're going to implement some type of system. They're going to bring about some type of changes within our society that are going to be presented as necessary to combat the present and immediate danger. But when this present and immediate danger subsides, we're still going to see that whatever was put in place to remedy the problem will still remain in place, if that makes sense. Just like we can still see U.S. military in Midtown Manhattan today. And I'm bringing this up, and I wanted to have this discussion with you in particular because I know you're a money guy. You're a dollars and cents guy. You're an economy guy. You watch the trends. And I heard something said interesting. I heard it something interesting stated the other day at a press conference, that they're having these daily press conferences at the White House. And the coordinator for the coronavirus task force, Dr. Deborah Bricks, she stated how there were some scientific studies that she was looking at and some of her peers. And these scientific studies were to help them address the issue that right now they're trying to get under thumb. And that's the fact, or rather, that's the concern as to how is the coronavirus actually spreading? Is this thing spreading person to person, or is it spreading from surface to person?
There was a series of scientific articles published, and I know you've seen them too, about surface contamination. I think none of us really understood the level of surface piece. So we're still working out how much is it by human-human transmission and how much is it by surface.
I bring this up because, there is one piece of material that can be contaminated that can certainly impact the largest swatch of civilization. And I'm talking about currency, physical cash. Even in Beijing, as being one of the hot spots for the coronavirus, we saw how their banks started reacting to this pandemic.
This all comes as Beijing takes even more extreme measures to try to contain the virus. The central bank has devised a plan to deep clean China's cash. So the way this works is that cash is going to be sanitized with UV light. And then for 7 days, it'll be quarantined for most of the parts of China. But in the epicenter, the quarantine will be for 14 days. And then money that is in hospitals or comes from the market or for public transportation at the epicenter is going to be destroyed. And by that, I mean, state media say that the money will be shredded, and then it's going to be packed into bricks and then sent to the local power plant where it's going to be incinerated and then turned into energy.
Do you think that there's a possibility that this whole pandemic that is now underway and soon to reach greater heights, do you think it might be the open door for the introduction of a cashless society, or at least the transition into a cashless society?
Absolutely. I've been saying that for quite a while. When it first broke out, I said that. It started, they started in Italy, saying not to use cash. But I want to go back to where you started. You started about 9/11, right? You started with 9/11. Look at the cover of our Trends Journal a couple of weeks ago. Coronavirus, 9/11, spreading terror. You're doing the same exact thing. Again, this is a number of weeks ago we wrote this. This one started breaking out. They're going cashless. There are one thing I want to make this is the first person I'm telling this to outside of our subscribers to the Trends Journal, trendsjournal.com.
We're listening.
They're going to confiscate gold.
You're saying they're going to confiscate gold.
Or else I should say, I'm very concerned that they may confiscate gold.
Okay. That's
the
fair.
Entire economic system around the globe is destroyed. The governments are printing we're going to give you $1 trillion. We're going to give you $1 trillion. We're going to give you $1 trillion.
Just pull it out of the air. Just pull it out of the air.
Right. Backed by nothing and printed on nothing. They're going to do away with the dollar. They'll do away with the yen. They'll do away with the real. They'll do away with the yuan. They're going to do away with all of them. They're going to come out with a new digital currency. Don't touch that dollar, it's dirty. Oof, oof. Don't touch that dollar, it's dirty. All right? Now they know every penny that you spent, everywhere that you spent it. And I want my cut. I want my cut. I'm the gangster running the country. I want my cut. And I know where it's coming from. I got my little boys and girls over here following you digitally. Know where you spent it, how much you spent of it. As I said before, they're going to be killing a lot more people, many millions more, than the coronavirus will kill. By the action that they have taken. Never before in world history have we seen entire nations shut down.
Never.
How are people going to pay their bills? I have buildings. How are the people, the businesses that rent out, the restaurants, how are they going to pay their bills?
Never.
How are tenants going to pay their rent? How are people going to be able to pay their mortgages? How are you going to be able to pay your electric bill, your telephone bill, and every other bill? How are you, the car loan, how are you going to pay this? I decided to close down because I am your leader and I know best.
So
the little boys and girls are taking it and believing it.
So recession is imminent, you would say?
No.
No?
The greatest depression.
Okay.
Way worse than any recession.
Right.
It's the cover of our Trends Journal. The greatest depression has begun. It's an economic epidemic brought to you by the governments of the world.
Gerald, what you're talking about right now, to many people, unfortunately, it sounds like the storyline of a movie. I know I used to write screenplays for motion pictures, and but the feasibility.
No. The people that you I want to interrupt you because
no,
you
said
okay. About a movie.
It's okay.
You said about a movie.
That's right.
This is a grade B movie. You got a grade B movie. You cannot create a dumber movie than the one that's being played right now in front of everybody's eyes. Wow. If I made this movie and told you that the mayor, the governor, the president, the prime minister, and the chancellor were doing this, you'd say, Celente, this is a grade B movie. We're way above that. We will never produce a movie of stupidity as the one that you're trying to portray. Social distancing, grade B movie.
It's the word of the day.
Grade B movie. Don't kiss on the cheeks. Don't kiss on the cheeks.
I only said that because people out there really need to realize how plausible what we're talking about right now is, because I read an article that was published by the IMF, February 19th.
International Mafia Federation.
Right. It was on February 19th, 2019, and they were talking about how to make negative interest rates work. And in that article, they literally stated that the way they could break the negative boundary was to introduce a cashless society, was to phase out physical cash. And without me getting into all of the technical jargon so I don't lose anybody, basically the bottom line they came to was, if we introduce these dual local currencies, that being an e-currency and then physical cash like we presently know it, if they do that, they can take the interest rate as negative as they need to counteract any recession without having to, do any type of overblown, what's the exact word they use? Substitution of immediate cash. And it's so interesting because here we are, and they're talking about, man, we're going to go into a recession. We're going to go into recession, and they're talking about cutting this thing negative. And they've already hypothetically given us their hypothesis as to how they can finagle this type of situation, and that is to introduce an e-currency and to step by step phase out physical cash. And I don't know, but in this time where people are terrified of the coronavirus, for lack of better words, if you tell people out there that their money has the cooties, they're going to put it down.
You got it. You buy it like that.
Yeah. Fear is a motivator.
But you buy it like that. And again, it's happening now. It's going to happen. But here's the deal.
Talk to me.
You said the majority will buy it. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Also, when you talked about the IMF, they had also forecast, the head of the IMF, she had forecast the fear of a depression coming on back in 2019.
Okay.
Into 2019. So now they already set the stage for it. They didn't anticipate the elements of the coronavirus. And as you said, people aren't going to want to touch the dollars, so they'll accept it 100%. So what I'm saying is they're going to try to salvage this by coming out with a new currency. And the new currency is going to be digital. So in our Trends Journal, the next one coming out next week, it's a weekly.
Okay.
We're going from dirty cash to digital trash. The people buying into Dictatorship 2020 in a city, in a state, in a country near you. Mention the Ukraine. We talked about Italy. How about Germany? Come to America. The same thing is going on. This is one of the saddest times that I've ever seen in my life unfold. This is unprecedented in history.
True.
We've never seen anything like this. The only thing that I could compare to this is the Civil War. I can't think of anything between now and then where the people were locked down in situations like this before.
You know, I can't help but make mention of it. You know, I'm a man, I believe in the Bible. Matthew chapter 24, beginning at verse 7, the Bible literally states, "For nation shall rise up against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places." And it says, all these are the beginnings of sorrows, which means these are the beginnings of the labor pains, of the birth contractions. And I truly believe Jesus gave us that analogy from nature to superimpose upon our understanding of the fulfillment of those Bible prophecies. And that when we see these events happening simultaneously, one behind the other, like a woman that's having her labor contractions 5 minutes apart, then we can know that dramatic change is afoot, and the imminent event of the second coming of Jesus Christ is to take place sooner than we know it. But before that happens, we're going to see things in this world, trials in this world, tribulations in this world, like no eye has ever beheld before. And in Luke chapter 21 and verse 26, it tells us how men's hearts will begin to fail them for fear, for looking on things that are coming upon the earth. And that's what's happening right now. Everywhere you look, people are terrified. I've never seen this type of terror in the hearts of people before. And, that's why I'm really convicted that we're looking not just at some changes in society, but we're looking at the fulfillment of Bible prophecy. Anyway, I want to send you a book. It's called The Great Controversy. I think you'll really like it, Gerald, because this book, Great Controversy, it deals with social as well as political and religious trends, beginning all the way back in 70 AD. And it just runs us through these social, political, and religious trends from 70 AD, starting with Rome and the overthrow of Jerusalem, and all the way down to present day. And it gives us a real insightful, adept look into what's going on right now and what in reality, I fully believe is going to unfold in the very near future. I got it here in an ebook form. This is an ebook that we like to give out to people. And if you guys are interested out there in getting this, I'll leave a link in the description box below. The Great Controversy, you can get these. But I want to send you a hardcover copy of this, Gerald. So I'll get in copy with your secretary and send one over to you. I think you'll really like it because you've got a good head on your shoulders. Thanks a lot. All right, guys.
Well, also, you mentioned Jesus Christ, and I'm a warrior for the Prince of Peace.
Oh, I like that, brother.
I fight for peace.
I like that.
And he's the Prince of Peace.
That's right.
And also, you mentioned before about how all the people are buying this.
That's right.
It does not take a majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority, keen on setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men. Samuel Adams.
Well, I hope you gained something from that interview. At the very least, I hope you're now awake to the possibility of there being some real changes in the framework of our society. Modifications so dramatic to our everyday lives that nothing will ever be the same again. You know, and Jesus warned us. He warned us in Matthew chapter 24 and verse 20, but pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. That warning that was given by the mouth of Jesus Christ himself to his disciples, it was not a warning to be isolated to the event of the destruction of Jerusalem and the necessity of the inhabitants of Jerusalem to escape the precincts of the holy city before the winter touched down in 70 AD, or to leave before the Sabbath came in 70 AD so that they would not be caught in Jerusalem when the armies of Rome came to overthrow it. No, that warning that was given by the mouth of Jesus Christ was to walk down through the ages and to meet us, his followers, his people, all mankind here in these last days, to alert us to the fact that we better pray that our flight is not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. And you might be thinking, what is this all talking about? Because winter, Sabbath day, it doesn't make any sense to you, right? Well, if you look at the winter and the Sabbath day, although these two seasons might seem like they have nothing in common, like there's not one thread that binds them together, you're wrong, because they do have one thread of commonality, and that is preparation. You see, you have to make preparations for the winter. Warm clothes, gas in the tank. You live in the country, gotta chop the wood, can some food. You have to make the necessary preparations for the winter unless you want the plummeting temperatures to overtake you and your family. And the Sabbath day? If you're a true Bible-believing Christian, you know that Exodus chapter 20, beginning at verse 8, tells us, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God, and in it thou shalt not do any work. Why? Because you should have made the necessary preparations for the Sabbath on the previous 6 days. And my friends, above any type of physical preparation that you can make for the Sabbath, the greatest preparation that one can undertake for the Sabbath day is spiritual. Because no man or no woman that's living an idolatrous, sinful, iniquitous lifestyle throughout the 6 days of the week can march into the seventh day and enter into God's holy, sacred rest. No, my friends, the only way that you can truly keep the Sabbath holy is if you are experiencing a loving relationship with Jesus Christ throughout the week, in which moment by moment you are surrendering your appetites and your passions, your desires into the hands of your Lord and your Savior so that He can work in you to will and to do of His good pleasure, according to Philippians chapter 2 and verse 13. That's the only way that you can truly keep the Sabbath holy. There's preparation that has to go into it. And so the warning is coming down through the ages from the mouth of Jesus Christ Himself to us, to all humanity. Pray that you do not try to prepare for the crisis that is getting ready to come upon the face of planet Earth too late. We only have a short time left before the final prophecies of the Word of God are fulfilled. The question is, what type of life are you living today? What type of preparations are you making today? Was this not a good enough fire drill for you? Didn't you wake up and realize that you should have been prepared? You should have already left the city and been in the country. You should have already been in the country preparing a garden. You should have already been eating a proper diet so that this body that is fearfully and wonderfully made could have an immune system working at optimal performance so that it could fight off foreign invaders. Didn't you realize from this current pandemic that you needed to have a closer relationship with Jesus Christ, that you shouldn't be in the same state of fear that the rest of the world is in, but you are in a state of fear? Why? Because you're playing with sin. You're still caught up in the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye, the pride of life. You're still engaged in your love of entertainment, your love of fashion, your love of fornication, your love of adultery, your love of an alternative lifestyle, your love of pornography, your love of self-abuse. Let's speak plainly, masturbation, your love of gluttony, your love of self. That's the reason why the professed Christian is in the same abject fear as any other worldling. And sorry if you find that term offensive, worldling. It's your decision whether you're a servant of Christ or a servant of Satan. And some people are out there right now screaming at their screens saying, "Oh, Forerunner, you're doing it all wrong. You're trying to scare people. Why are you speaking a message of fear?" Really? Well, you know something? This time I might have to say that might very well be true. Because the Bible tells us in Jude, "And some save with fear, pulling them out of the fire, hating even the garment that is spotted with the flesh." This is the time to wake up. Because if you're not going to wake up now, my friends, I don't know what's going to wake you up. This is our opportunity. This is our opportunity to take an inventory of our lives and to see, are we ready to stand face to face with the Creator of the universe? Are you prepared? Are you ready for Jesus to come? As always, this is the Forerunner. Whether you like it or not, the truth is the truth.